Welcome back to another episode of Choppy Waters. Today we are talking about the birds. It's the birds.
So I'll start. That's legitimately frightening. I would just pack it up and go back to my cabin and just sit there and just wait for it all to end. Because no.
Hey fam, welcome to Choppy Waters, your go-to for crazy and unbelievable travel stories. Each episode, we're diving into real-time discussions and sharing those you-had-to-be-there moments. So buckle up. Choppy Waters isn't just a name, it's a promise. This is Choppy Waters, with your host, Charvon and Brandon.
Our good friend at Miss Blondie J over on the camera app posted a video last night from a cruise ship that left out of Port of Tampa. Now, I'll just show you guys what happened. You let me know what you think in the comments.
Winds in the east, mist coming in. Like something is brewing, about to begin.
Now, she was on a Royal Caribbean ship. It does not name the ship. I'll see if I can find it and do an update. But apparently, in the midst of the storm, when it was a Category 5, a big group of birds got stuck in the eye. And then when it downgraded to a Category 3, the birds were able to actually get out of the eye of the storm. They just happened to land on the deck of the cruise ship, which is bananas. Some of the crew were even being caught on film saying that they had never seen nothing like that before. I don't know. It kind of weirded me out, and it did not help the music that she added, but it does make for a good dramatic effect. So let me know what you guys think. Was this a good Choppy Waters, or what would you think if you saw something like that? Like, I don't know how to feel. Like, that just gives me eerie vibes. That really bothers my spirit. But let me know what you think.
No, so the supposed cause was that the birds were flying around and they got caught up in the eye of the storm. Well, the pressure in the eye of the storm kept them trapped there. And when the storm downgraded to a Category 3, the birds just happened to fall out, were able to escape the eye. Some of them survived, some of them didn't. But the ones that did not survive landed on a cruise ship. So here you are on the Lido deck, and there are thousands of birds and giant moths just landing on. That felt like, to me, the end of times. Like, if I was on that ship and I saw that, it would have definitely felt like an end of time situation.
So did those birds that fell on, that crashed down onto the Lido, They did
not survive.
They did not survive.
They did not survive.
Who has to clean that up?
The staff. So she did actually post a full video of the aftermath and like the crew coming on the deck. So they end up having to close down the Lido deck. And it was a Royal Caribbean ship out of the Port of Tampa. I don't know the ship yet. But she did post an update, and basically the crew was walking around in disbelief. And they were like, they had never seen anything like that before.
Imagine it's like, hey, I'm gonna have a good night. You know, we're gonna have a quiet night. Oh, wait a minute. We gotta go sweep these birds up.
I mean, and like, did you see her hand, like the size of the moths? Like, where do you collect those from? Where did that storm collect those moths from?
I remember one time, you remember that time when we were on the Mardi Gras and the bird like crashed on the Lido and I was trying to give it water?
Yes, you were trying to make it survive.
Yeah, and I think it ended up eventually flying away.
Yes.
And these birds didn't make it, man. That's
that was a lot of birds.
That was a lot of birds. It really does seem like, and we're not trying to be like overly dramatic, but if you see that, that seems like the end of days.
Yeah. It was really creepy. I didn't like it. But 10 points for her for showmanship, because that music, the Mary Poppins music, Chef's Kiss, it was perfect. Yeah. It creeped me out. But then the creepy music when she was showing the size of the bird. So just Blondie J on Instagram is where you can find it. Very much a creepy situation. I don't know if I wouldn't know how to feel about it. Honestly, I'm like you. I'll probably be in the cabin.
Because like, think about it, if you're a child and you see that, and you're like, you're psychologically, you can't I can only imagine me as a kid seeing that. Me as an adult seeing that would crash out.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I don't know. First is people bringing on pieces. Now is birds dropping. What? I don't even want to ask what's going to happen next week.
I don't know what's going to happen next week, but just the birds falling out of the sky.
Yeah.
And you just sitting there, you cooling out with your lady or your man, just I love you. And then you just hear poof, 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 poof. It's like I feel bad for the crew who has to just
shovel up all those.
Do you think they just sweep them to a certain spot, or they just individually just pick the birds up and throw them in the bag?
Yeah, that's what do you do? Then maybe they pile them up. They gotta shovel them into a bag.
I would assume they went to an incinerator, right?
Had to.
But I mean, whoa. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Things like that freak me out. And you already you don't like disaster kind of.
I don't like that kind of stuff.
No. So tell us in the comments below, what would you do after you see a flock of birds, a flight of birds, a colony of birds?
Look at you.
Fall just randomly out of the sky on a cruise ship. Would you go back to the cabin? What would you do? Just tell us what you would do.
All right. Well, until next week's episode, this is Choppy Waters. I am Charvon.
I am Brandon.
And Parker's out.
And that's all for this episode of Choppy Waters. We hope you enjoyed this wild ride through the craziest stories in travel. Your support means the world to us. If you can't get enough of our travel drama, head over to YouTube and watch the full video version of this podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us make each episode even better than the last. Until next time, stay safe out there in those choppy waters.